Hello students, in the previous class we have seen the chromatographic basics. Today let us discuss about the classification of chromatography. So as we have seen in the chromatography definition, so according to definition, what is the chromatography here? The chromatography is nothing but here. This is a separation technique in which the mixture of components are separated by a individual components. That one we call it as what here? Chromatography. And we also have seen the principle of chromatography, that is different types of principles we have observed, that is adsorption chromatography and partition chromatography, ion exchange chromatography, size exclusion chromatography. So based upon this we have discussed the principles. So today let us discuss the classification of chromatography. So what is classification of chromatography? So chromatography here, so basing upon different types, the chromatography is divided. So here, according to separation mechanism, the chromatography are classified as adsorption. So what we can say here, according to separation techniques, according to separation mechanism, so what we can say here, the chromatographic methods are classified as adsorption chromatography, partition chromatography, adsorption, partition and ion exchange chromatography, precipitation chromatography. Precipitation chromatography, size exclusion chromatography. So according to separation mechanism, what we can say, so these are the things it is divided. The chromatographic methods are divided as adsorption chromatography, partition chromatography, ion exchange chromatography, precipitation chromatography and size exclusion chromatography. So according to this technique, this chromatography has, means according to technique methods, what we can say, it is divided into thin layer chromatography, paper chromatography. Okay, according to technique, the chromatography is divided into here how many types? Here it is divided into thin layer chromatography, which is also known as TLC, and we can say here paper chromatography. Okay, so according to techniques, these two are divided. According to medium, means in which separation is going on. So according to medium, it is what the chromatography is divided into liquid, means the moving position. According to mobile phase, what we can say, the chromatography is classified as liquid chromatography, and next one we can say it is a gas chromatography. It is divided. Okay, so we are saying that here according to separation mechanism, these are the things it is classified. So in adsorption chromatography, here the stationary phase is a solid. Okay, and here the solutes water adsorbed in different parts of the column. The adsorption components are eluted by passing suitable solvents. We call it as eluents also. Okay, means by removing the components by using mobile phase, that one we call it as what here, eluents. So here liquid is a mobile phase. Then when column is used in such type of chromatography, that one what we can say here, column chromatography. And if you are using TLC, in which glass plate or plastic plate coated with a thin layer, that one we call it as here thin layer chromatography. So what we can say here, in adsorption chromatography, see, in adsorption chromatography we have discussed the principle. Here what will be the solid, it is a stationary phase. Okay, the mobile phase will be the here liquid. And coming to here, it is divided into two types, that is the adsorption chromatography is mainly observed in column chromatography and TLC. Why I say column and TLC here is nothing but here the solute whatever we are taking, it is absorbed in different parts of the column. So let us take, this is a column chromatography. Okay, so this is a column. In this already the solution is present. So when you place any paper here, the solute is present. Okay, so to this what we are adding, the mobile phase is adding. Whenever you are adding mobile phase, what happens, the surface of the solute particles will be removed. That one we call it as eluents. So here we are using column now. This type of column we call it as column chromatography. Okay, and coming to TLC. TLC is also adsorption chromatography. These two based on the principle of adsorption chromatography only. So coming to here we are using different types of plates we are going to use. So different types of plates we are using, whether it is plastic plate which is coated with a thin layer. So this is also here, it is absorbing, it is depends upon the principle of the adsorption. That's why the adsorption chromatography is classified into two types. Why? Because by using different columns and plates, we say it is a column chromatography and it is a TLC, thin layer chromatography. And coming to here, partition chromatography. So in partition chromatography means what? It mainly depends upon the solubility, polarity nature, and here what we can say here, the solid will be here, sorry, the liquid will be also stationary phase. The liquid will be stationary phase, and also another liquid will be, liquid or gas will be mobile phase. Here we are using both liquids. Okay, so coming to here, the stationary phase may be liquid which is adsorbed on the solvent. So here, which is means why we are using liquid here, it is a supporting material for the solid which is coated, right? So coming to here, the partition chromatography, the solute we are taking here, the solute which is taking, it is in the stationary phase, it is a liquid, and moving phase, the solvent will be the mobile phase. So it is going to observe different types here. We are having here mainly paper chromatography we can say. Okay, if suppose in partition chromatography, so here in partition chromatography, if the, let us see here stationary phase and here mobile phase. If the stationary phase is solid, if it is a liquid, then which type of thing is going to observe? Adsorption chromatography is going to happen. Suppose if it is a solid, if it is a gas, then it is also adsorption. And coming to if it is a liquid, it is also a liquid, then it is a partition chromatography. And coming to if it is a liquid, if it is a gas, it is a partition chromatography. Means what here, already in the chamber, if you have observed the principle in the previous class what we have discussed, so the chamber, the supporting material we are coated with, already the supporting material consists of solid. So this solid is coated with what here? Liquid. So means what, we are using this one as a partition chromatography. Okay, we are doing partition here. So here, which type of technique we are going to use here in partition chromatography? Paper chromatography. So paper chromatography is used in this technique. Why? Because here, why we are using paper chromatography as a technique? Because for this one what we are using? Paper chromatography for partition. So why we are using paper chromatography here? Paper chromatography is used as a technique in which the unknown mixture is carried out by the solvent. Means when you take an unknown mixture, you don't know the mixture, so then what, you are using a mobile phase to separate that compounds. So the paper whatever it is there, it acts as a stationary liquid phase, and here the components whatever we are taking, the solvent, that one we call it as mobile phase. And coming to here, what happened? The separation takes place by moving the liquid, migration of the components in the mixture. That one we call it as paper chromatography. So in this only we are going to have TLC also. Thin layer chromatography depends upon the partition chromatography also. Why? Because it absorbs the points whatever we are taking, the solvent mixture, it is going to present on the plate. Okay, so that's why we can say it is whether it will be taking adsorption or partition. Thin layer chromatography we can take, and also HPLC, high pressure liquid chromatography. Okay, so here HPLC, where the stationary phase is a column here, and other one, the pressure, whatever the pressure is there, that one, the moving liquid, the gas, we call it as mobile phase here. Gas chromatography, gas liquid. So it is also used as a the gas here. The mobile phase is a gas here. The non-volatile liquid means which is not going to evaporate. That one we call it as a stationary phase we are going to take here. So these are the classification of the chromatography. Okay, so these are the things we are taking in the chromatography in the classification. So here we are having different types of adsorbents and also solvents. So adsorbents. So what is a adsorbent? Whatever we are taking, whether it is solid, gas, liquid, it is already present in the separation technique. Okay, so general example let us take here. For example, you people have sat on the class. Okay, so when you sat on the class, you already have sat on the class, means what? That is adsorbent. Then what is adsorbent? You are coming and sitting in the class, means that is going to happen, that one adsorbent. You, which is already happened, that one we call it as the work which is already happened, that one we call it as what here? Adsorbent. Okay, so coming to here, the adsorbents is nothing but the solids which is present in the technique, we call it as adsorbent. So we have to see the adsorbents. For mainly the adsorbents depends upon particle size. For separation, you have to observe the particle size of the adsorbent. Why? Because it is most important for separation of these individual components, that we have to absorb the particle size mainly. So here, if the attraction force is weak, for example the attraction is weak, the affinity is weak, then we cannot separate the particles easily. Okay, so coming to here, different types of adsorbents we are going to use here, that is sucrose, starch, is used as adsorbents if the force of attraction is weak. These are the two things we are going to use. If the force of attraction is intermediate, then what we can use here? Calcium carbonate, CaCO3 twice, CaPO4 twice, and CaOH twice, MgOH twice. If the force is intermediate, then we are going to use these adsorbents. Suppose if the force is strong, mainly we are going to use alumina, charcoal. So these are the things we are going to use. So when we will use this one, if the force is strong, the force of attraction is strong, then we are going to use these compounds to separate the mixture. So these are the different types of adsorbents we are going to use in the chromatographic techniques. And coming to solvents. So what are the solvents we are taking here is nothing but so the next one word here, solvent. Solvent is which is taken in the large quantity, mobile phase we can say. Okay, so generally it is used to distribute the mixture of the column. So then what happens here? We have to use correct solvent here. So why we have to use correct solvent? Because so you are separating the mixture of components into individual components. So when you are separating it into individual components, then solvent whatever flowing in the stationary phase, means the mobile phase which is passing through stationary phase, it should be correct solvent you should have. Okay, so means what, it is having some factors. So what type of factors mainly depends, means here it should have suitable viscosity, stability, solubility, and purity. If you are having these type of the factors, then we can easily take this solvent to separate the components. Okay, so then which type of solvents we can use here? We can use different types of solvents. So we can take here benzene, chloroform, next we can take here acetone, ketone. Acetone or ketone is same, so acetone, cyclohexane. So these are the solvents we are going to use for the separation. Okay, so it mainly, these solvents mainly depend upon the eluent. So eluent is nothing but what? Removal of the mixture of components. That one we are, for to remove the mixture of components, that one we call it as eluent. If you are having eluent, then we can easily add these components to separate the individual components. So means what, if you are having higher value, then it will have higher eluent. If you are having low value, it will be having lower eluent. So this is nothing but solvents we are going to use. Okay, so next one, let us take here, generally take elution of chlorophyll with ether. So what will happen here? So see here, we are separating the chlorophyll. Okay, in this what we are doing here? Elution. Elution is nothing but what? Separation of individual components. We are separating elution of chlorophyll with ether. So in the down part I have taken here CaCO3 column, this is, which is a stationary phase. Okay, so we are having here yellow color. This one, let us take, the component is a xanthophyll or carotene. Here also the component is having yellow color. And total 4 components we are having. That is, this is also yellow, green, blue. Okay, this is a pale yellow color. Now what happens here? We are having, this one consists of chlorophyll B, this one consists of chlorophyll A. So these two are the components we are going to separate. So which type of, so here already stationary phase is present. The stationary phase is calcium carbonate here. Now what we have to do? The solvent is also present here, the solute, that is chlorophylls. The chlorophyll is present over here. We have to separate individual chlorophylls. Then what happens? Which type of solvent we have to use? We have to use here, to this we have to use ether. So this is the solvent if you have been using, which is a mobile phase here. The ether is a what here? Mobile phase, to separate the individual component. Means what, the components are separating here. That one we call it as what here? Elution. So this is nothing but solvent, a perfect solvent you have to use for the removing the individual components. So let us see next one here, retention factor or retardation factor. So what is retention factor? The retention factor is nothing but which is denoted by RF here. So here the ratio of the distance traveled by the compound, the ratio of the distance traveled by the compound to the ratio of the distance traveled by the solvent front. So this is nothing but what here? Retention factor. So what I have told you here, the distance traveled by the compound to the distance traveled by the solvent front, we call it as retention factor, I have told you. And here the retention factor will be always less than 1. The retention factor means what here? It is always less than 1. It cannot move fast with the solvent front, the retention. So the distance we have to see from the stationary phase to from the mobile phase, we have to see the distance. So it is going to have certain factors, that is, it depends upon what here? The factors, nature of the mixture, we have to see the mixture nature, and also solvent mixture, solvent we have to see, and also temperature, quality of the filter paper we have to see. And also we have to see temperature. So these are the factors we have to observe for the retention factor. So now do you understand the retention factor? I'll explain you clearly here. So generally if you take a Wattsman filter paper, okay, so here we are writing a baseline. Let us take this is a baseline or starting line. We are marking a sample here. These are the samples. Okay, so we are having end line also. This is a end line. Now this paper is kept in the mobile phase, which consists of solvent. The paper should be dipped up to the bottom. It should not, the solvent should not touch the sample points. Okay, so here then what happens? It is going to travel upward. So for example, this point is traveling as A here, this is B, this is C, and it is touching the D. Okay, so these are the points we have taken. This sample is point. So now what is retention factor here? The first one is, so this one we call it as solvent front also. This line we call it as solvent front. So you have to see the distance between this baseline to the solvent front. Let us take this as a 4 centimeters. Now let us see now the distance traveled by the compound from baseline to up to the point A. So this is one distance we will be getting. This is one distance. This is one distance. This is one distance. So means what here? If RF value, if you, for example, this is a 4 centimeter, this is a 2 centimeter, 1 by 2 we are getting here, some 0.5 we are getting. So means what? The distance traveled by the compound here and distance traveled by the solvent front. So for solvent front, the distance will be same for every molecule. Why? Because here the distance from the baseline to the solvent front, this one we call it as solvent front distance. So like that, if you take here for B compound some 3 by 4 if you have been taken, so then what you are getting here? 4, 3, some 0.75 like that you are getting. So if you have been observed here, we are not getting the RF value 1, right? So we are getting here the RF value will be, for example, let us take 6 by 4, that is 3 by 2. Then what we are getting here? 2, 3, 1.6. So like that if it is getting, so it is not going to give the RF value. So if suppose the RF is getting some 5 by 4, so then what you are getting here? Some 5 by 4 means 1 by 5. So more than value we are not getting. Why? Because the baseline is only 4 centimeters. Sometimes you can get some, again 3 by 4 is 0.75. RF value will be here again 1 by 4. Maybe it can get, that one will be some 0.25. So these are the values we are going to get the RF value. If you have been observed here, the solvent front value is same. Why? Because from baseline to solvent front, whatever distance we are taking, that one we call it as the distance of the solvent front. So this is nothing but general principle, adsorbent, solvents, retention factor we are going to use in the chromatographic techniques. So whatever technique we are taking, so they should be compulsory. We have to see the principle and adsorbent and also solvent and retention factor. So in the next class we can discuss the paper chromatography. Thank you.